Well, it's Friday morning. Everyone's waking up from their turkey coma after I'm sure eating way too much yesterday. But the Friday after that morning signals the big kickoff for holiday season when it comes to shopping. And I figured what I would do this morning is go over a ton of Black Friday deals and Cyber Monday deals, things that'll basically be running throughout this weekend that you could take advantage of for mostly gaming, but some other bits and pieces when it comes to hardware thrown in. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and if you come across any deals that aren't necessarily mentioned here, of course, drop them down in the comments because I'm sure plenty of people are going to be searching around for all kinds of discounts and other things. And I've actually made a pretty lengthy list here of all kinds of stuff. So we're going to jump around to some different retailers quickly, hopefully, as we go. But I'm going to start with Target here. And Target's interesting. Mostly because, so with PS5, Xbox Series, and Switch, many of these retailers are going to have the same deals up front on those pieces of hardware. Some will be a little cheaper than others, but in this case, Target does have the Switch here at $275 for that OLED with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle, and that's just $75 off. So basically, any of the Switch systems are just $75 off. The red box and then the OLED model, they do come with Mario Kart 8. That's a really good setup, really good bundle to get somebody started in what is a ridiculous library of games with the Switch. Now, if you're curious about VR, this is probably the best deal you're going to find, which is the MetaQuest 3S. It comes with Batman Arkham Shadow, and it also has a $75 Target gift card. And like you could buy anything at Target. I mean, you could go grocery shopping at Target technically. So that $75 is just basically just a savings across the board. That's not necessarily taken off the sticker price. I know the idea is to get you back in the store, but again, a gift card like that you can use on things even outside of gaming. They also have the standard discount on PlayStation 5 hardware. Same thing, $75 off. The Xbox Series is $50 off, and the PSVR 2 is down to $350 with Call of the Mountain. In fact, I think the Call of the Mountain bundle and the regular one are the same price, so you may as well have a game bundled in there. Also, I have to give Target a bit of a shout out here because they did a much better job than most of these places when it comes to just sort of dividing up all of their sections. So if you want one that's, I guess, pretty easy to browse around, especially when you click on one of these, like, look, here's some games, for example, which we'll get to a little later. If I click that, though, it's a nice, easy to follow format here. Again, some of the other ones, not so good when it comes to just browsing through, which actually, funny enough, brings us to Best Buy, which they have a number of things when it comes to more the hardware. Their games are pretty standard. Like, you're going to find a lot of their game sales just about across the board. Even like their MetaQuest 3, with the 512 gig with the Batman Arkham Shadow, and even the standard one, the 128 gig, that's one that is I would say in favor of Target with that gift card. But the thing that's interesting about Best Buy, they do have a PS5 digital edition with NBA 2K25. That's $125 off, and that's pretty cheap. But I noticed that a lot of their PC handhelds that you basically just find at Best Buy at this point are marked down. So the ROG Ally, that's the white edition, the original one that they did. That one's actually down to $500 at the 512 gigabyte model with the Z1 Extreme. I recommend the Z1 Extreme over the Z1 regular, even with the price difference. It's just it's a more capable system across the board, and if you're going to invest that kind of money and play what are going to be kind of like borderline AAA, more graphically intensive games, you might as well put a bit extra in and get the better processor. You're not changing it out in the future, basically. But that at $500 is actually not bad for a PC handheld like that can do quite a bit. They also have the ROG Ally X. That one is $100 off, and it's still quite expensive. It's still like $700. But the Legion Go is $200 off. That's coming in at $550. That's the 1 terabyte model. They also have the 512 gigabyte model here. They're both the Z1 Extreme, so if you don't really mind in terms of the storage size being halved, $500 for the Legion Go with a lot of the stuff that can do is it's pretty good. The controllers are $20 off basically across the board. Here's one, for example, here with the Xbox Series X. So you could pretty much head out to places like Best Buy and round up a bunch of controllers as well to maybe go with a brand new system. Or let's say you get a nice pre-built PC, pick up one of the controllers, you can have it synced up so you can play all kinds of games on places like Steam. They also have the Logitech G29 racing wheel that I noticed that was $100 off. And I was going to check in with Sean to see if that one was any good since he's like the racing connoisseur, but it did seem like it was a well-reviewed racing wheel that had like force feedback and everything. So here's G920 right here at $200, again $100 off. So a lot of racing wheels will actually be marked down pretty significantly. So if you've been waiting, might be another category to sort of keep an eye on. And while I just mentioned the ROG Ally and the Legion Go, the Steam Deck is cut down pretty well in terms of price. Now they did sell out of the 64 gigabyte almost immediately, and look, you throw an SD card in there and you're pretty much off and running just the same. But the 512 gigabyte LCD model at $337 essentially here is still very good. That also comes with the little carrying cases they have here, a Steam Profile bundle, so not much really to differentiate it from the 64 gig other than just the storage size. But I still think with that difference, I mean, consider the fact that an SD card, yes, you can get like a 512 gigabyte SD card for roughly the difference, which I'll get to in a second, but that does take up your SD card slot, whereas with the 512 gig, you could drop basically another 512 in, and you could have just about a terabyte in size. So I think at $337 right now for a Steam Deck LCD, again, not the OLED model, which is going to cost you a bit more, but I think that's a good entry point there for someone who's just been kind of on the fence with the Steam Deck. I mean, that markdown from $450 that's pretty solid. Coming back to the SD card very quickly, something you want to take advantage when it comes to Black Friday and Cyber Monday is storage. Generally, SD cards, NVMEs, SSD, it's all cheaper. Like it gets marked down. In fact, closer to Cyber Monday, you'll see some pretty significant discounts. Right now, we are seeing like the SanDisk Extreme line. That's marked down well. And here's the thing, that would be very, very good for any of these PC handhelds. The Switch, it might be a bit of overkill right now, or if you record a lot of, we'll say 4K footage, this is good stuff. Like I order these all the time for capturing footage and stuff whenever like Black Friday or Cyber Monday comes around. A 512 gigabyte model at pretty good speeds when it comes to transfer. $36. Yeah, they do have the 1 terabyte. I see that it's $80, and it is tempting. But technically, you get two 512 gigabyte ones and use them even for 2 different cameras or 2 different systems, or change them out on the fly. Even the 256 gigabyte one, just under $22. It's a different time now compared to 2017 when it was incredibly expensive for anything even near like a 256 gigabyte SD card. I mentioned NVMe. Those are also on sale. The 2 terabyte Western Digital Black SN850X. There are no name or lesser name or name brand NVMe drives out there. I understand. It is kind of a roll of the dice sometimes. I mean, really, you might strike gold. You might get really lucky, and one of them is just works well for years and years and years. But when it comes to me recommending to a large audience, we'll say I typically stick with something that's well known, like the SN850X, and a 2 terabyte one is on sale right now, coming in at $124. I'm going to throw this out there. I know this is a very, very small number of people, but if you want to max out, I guess the PS5, the 8 terabyte, yes, is $550. Hey, that's marked down from $880. Actually, there's the 4 terabyte one as well, but I think that's like sold out completely. But yes, if you'd like to max out your PS5 right now, there you go. $550. Who knows? Maybe in like 4 or 5 years, we'll look back as this thing's like $100. Be like, man, one of those 8 terabyte models were hundreds of dollars. Those were the days. And for you Xbox users out there, well, they have these specific expansion cards for you. The Western Digital Black, that one is marked down to $100 for 1 terabyte. They have the 2 terabyte at $200, but to be honest, you might as well get 2 of these even, and just, I think it works better to kind of hot swap them or even set up different games for each one. This I think was a mistake from Microsoft to go this route, to have these things, but they wanted it to be easy and want to make it so you could just pop them out. The issue is you have Western Digital and you have Seagate. Those are the two making expansion cards right now, and we're so far into the generation, it might be too late before anyone else shows up to drive down the price. So hopefully with Microsoft's next generation, they work this out and maybe make something a bit more universal like NVMe. Okay, now let's actually talk about some games. And the first thing you can see on my screen here is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That went absolutely crazy at Walmart. It was $30 and it sold out so fast. They still have a digital one. I'm not 100% sure how that works with Walmart when it comes to digital Nintendo games, so I don't know if I can necessarily recommend that. I will say keep an eye on this page because if this comes back in stock, it's once again going to go out pretty quick. Otherwise, Target does have Tears of the Kingdom at $40. That's marked down from $70, not $60 technically, so it's a fairly steep discount. This was just madness. It was more than 50% off. Was that like 60% off or something? So that was a big one. And look, these games are scattered all over the place. There's so many to go over. So what I'll do very quickly, Gran Turismo 7 at $20. That's at Walmart. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was $20 at Amazon. These are going to go in and out of stock, as I mentioned, as you see this video. Rise of the Ronin is $30 at Walmart. Resident Evil 4, that's the newest one, the remake, $20, basically everywhere. Same with Elden Ring, $20. Spider-Man 2, $30 at Walmart. And then Half-Life Alyx, which, hey, if you get a new VR headset that works for your PC, on Steam, it's $20. There are also a number of digital sales right now that are live and will be running basically throughout the weekend through Cyber Monday, and I've covered them numerous times throughout the past week or so in Newswave. So what I'll do is I'll cut and stitch them in here and basically have it rapid fire succession covering Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. Super Mario Maker 2 at $40, Hogwarts Legacy Deluxe Edition at $21, Persona 5 Royal $15, followed up by Persona 5 Strikers $18. Just over $30 you can get Persona 5 Royal and Persona 5 Strikers. That's actually pretty good. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition at $8. GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. Remember, this is now fixed. There's a patch that's been pushed, and it's completely reworked the game seemingly with the visuals and controls and stuff. $30. So it's just half off, $10 per classic Grand Theft Auto game. Now I think it's worth picking up. The Messenger, awesome 2D side scroller that does some very interesting things here in that space, $4. Trials of Mana at $20. Portal Companion Collection, $5. Unicorn Overlord, a game that people constantly recommend in the comments whenever I bring up different sales, even if it's 10% off. In this case, it's $36. Yoshi's Crafted World at $40. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or 2, either one of them, $42 each. Bayonetta 3 at $42. Fire Emblem 3 Houses at $42. I know it's like, okay, here's Bravely Default 2 at $42. The Nintendo published games tend to still keep their value up, but seeing so many of them just on sale in general is not very common. I will say that. One Piece Odyssey at $30. It Takes Two, $16. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble at $25. Alan Wake Remastered, $8. Disco Elysium Final Cut, $12. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the video game, that's $5. Sonic Superstars, $18. Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster at $25. And of course, had to throw Chrono Cross in there, $8. Nickelodeon Kart Racers, that's $3. Untitled Goose Game at $10. Ukulele Impossible Lair at $3. That is a good pickup there. Rune Factory 4 at $9. House of the Dead Remake at $6. Mortal Kombat 11 at $10. Trinity Trigger at $14. Fate Extella Link, $15. And then No More Heroes 2 at $10. Moving over to the Xbox, NBA 2K25 at $31. Hogwarts Legacy at $21. Resident Evil 4, the remake, at $20. Master Chief Collection, which is an awesome deal here, at $10. I know it's in Game Pass, but still, if you don't want to have Game Pass or you're not really looking for that, I mean, the amount of Halo content here at 10 is like unmatched. Tekken 8, $35. A Way Out at $5. Ace Combat 7, $9. Assassin's Creed Mirage, that one's $20. Batman Return to Arkham at $5, and then Arkham Knight at $3. You can have that entire trilogy there for $8. That's pretty good. Bayonetta and Vanquish Collection at $10. Borderlands 3 at $6. Blue Dragon Classic from the Xbox 360 days that does work on the Xbox Series at $7. And then Castlevania Dominus Collection at $20. Spider-Man 2, $40. It's a great game still. It looks awesome. If you get a PS5 Pro, this is a cool one to kind of show off what it can do there with some of the ray trace reflections. We have Madden 25, that's at $35. Star Wars Outlaws at $53. Hogwarts Legacy, $18. That's a good pickup there, I think, at $18. Stellar Blade at $50. GTA 5, sure, why not? $20. WWE 2K24, that one's at $20. God of War Ragnarok at $30. Another good one to pick up, by the way, for the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's just a very clean looking game already on the base PS5. Goes up to the next level there, though, with the newer hardware. Same with the Crew Motorfest, actually. That one's at $21. Jedi Survivor at $25. Assassin's Creed Mirage, $23. Street Fighter 6 at $30. I've been waiting for this game, Topspin 2K25, to drop in price. I've been interested, but some of the limitations it has seemingly with playing against other people online kind of put me off of it, though. But $23,
Might be time to make the move on that. Battlefield 2042 at $7. Lego, the Star Wars Lego Skywalker Saga, that one's at $15. GTA Trilogy, great time to pick it up with the latest patch. That one's $24 for those 3 classic games. Borderlands 3 at $6. Mafia Trilogy, $18. I really like these collections, kind of highlighting them. There's a lot of value there for the titles you get with that single price. Alan Wake 2 Deluxe at $40. Metro Exodus, $5. RoboCop Rogue City, that was kind of that one flew under the radar a bit, but it is a lot of fun, and if you're a RoboCop fan, it's definitely worth $20 to get in here. Hades, that one's $13. Dead Space, that's the remake, at $21. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, absolute steal, at $6. Are you kidding me? That's $2 a game. Need for Speed Unbound, that's $7. Monster Hunter Rise plus Sunbreak at $20. Marvel's Midnight Suns Enhanced Edition at $11. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown at $20. And Castle Crashers Remastered. If you're just looking for a fun, like, couch co-op game to play with a bunch of friends, $3. Absolutely worth it.
There's also 2 other places I'd be looking into with maybe lesser known sales, although one is GameStop, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be checking out GameStop throughout the weekend, but there's a deal that they do every single year, it feels like now, at least as long as I can remember, that's incredibly popular and is awesome when it comes to just holiday shopping and trying to cross off the Christmas list as cheap as possible. Buy 2, get 1 free. They do have that. It is a sale. They're doing a promotion. It's for used games specifically. Now, usually you see this happen in stores as well, okay? So you're going to want to get there sooner rather than later because they will get picked over quickly because that card that they have, so if you have like their pro card or whatever, it also applies. So it's buy 2, get 3rd free. The third one will be the cheapest as the free one, right? So it's not like you can pick something that's 50 and then 2 20s. No, the 50's free. No, so you want to plan out your purchases accordingly. And if you buy in store, when you go up to the register, make multiple piles so they understand how you want this to work. That's a little tip there, okay? It makes it easier for them, and it makes sure there's no weirdness that happens, say, when it comes to the checkout process and what the computer even picks to be free. There are a few times where I had to do like 3 different transactions. Seriously, different groups just to make sure everything went through smoothly. But, I mean, you can see they have like a lot of the newer titles here that will be found used, and you'll be able to do buy 2, even like Nintendo titles. I mean, Mario Odyssey, it's not like the cartridge typically is going to be scratched up necessarily and won't work. So, I mean, if you get that at 24 and Elden Ring at 17 and a sports fan here at 2K25. Oh, wow. Geez. Look at that. The Mario 3D All-Stars is $95. Jeez, thank Nintendo for that one. Or like Animal Crossing at 33. You kind of get the idea. You can start stacking them and save a bunch of money. GameStop also does collectibles. Now, I'm not sure what the collectible game is necessarily for holiday shopping, but they have a lot of statues and stuff that are also marked down. A lot of them were like 10, 20, 30% off. So big Dragon Ball fan out there, you can get a nice statue of Super Saiyan Blue Goku or something. And then they also had, I noticed this one, which was kind of interesting. They have older consoles that are on sale. Now, I'm not typically one to recommend going out and buying these old systems at these prices because they're not like cheap necessarily. Like a PS4, they still have about $125 after the $25 discount. But get this. They have some like special edition systems that are actually in stock at some locations. So like this one, the Uncharted 4 limited edition at $135. That's actually kind of cool for an Uncharted fan. And they have like the Spider-Man Pro here for $185. Again, I know it's an older system, but it is kind of neat just to see. Look at that. Look, there's the PlayStation 4, the slim console they did there with the PlayStation logos on the side. Really cool Gears 5 edition system. It's just really cool to have that still pop up as an option and save $25. Just an idea, throwing it out there. Now, typically, I would recommend GameFly. Unfortunately, though, I'm kind of disappointed by their offering. It's just Black Friday, 10% off everything in the store, and they have free shipping for members. So if you're not a member, there's not much of a discount there. They have like a code to use. Usually, you can find some of their used stuff a bit cheaper, generally, but it's just, it wasn't really a great offering this year compared to things like we just went over with GameStop, buy 2, get 3rd free, and then you can also take 10% off if you have the discount card. And then finally, I will throw some TV recommendations at you, but to really get in the weeds when it comes to which new HD TV to get, that would turn into like a 20 some odd minute video on its own. But what I would do if you're specifically looking for one for a gamer, look for one that's 4K, 120 hertz, VRR enabled, and preferably OLED if you can. So one of the go-tos for a lot of people right now is the LG C line of OLED displays, their Evo series here. And if you don't technically have to go with the latest one, right? What do they have, like C4 now? You don't have to do all of that. You can go back to the C2 or the C1. Very, very capable displays. If you can find them even cheaper, eBay's very popular to search on. But again, I'm kind of sticking here to, we'll say, the LG store on Amazon, where they have the C3 65-inch OLED that has all the bells and whistles for gamers, including like VRR, again, 120 hertz, 4K OLED, the whole thing, at just under $1,200. And with Amazon Prime shipping, it gets there, within the week or something. So that's not a bad one. Now, if you want to get a bit cheaper while still trying to maintain that certain level for maybe somebody who has a PS5 or an Xbox Series, you do have Hisense, which is kind of sneaky good when it comes to some of this gaming stuff if you find the right display. In this case, they do have the Hisense U7 series, the 65 U7N, 65-inch. This one is mini LED, so it's not necessarily OLED level of like picture quality or anything, but it's still very, very good. 144 hertz. It does have VR built in, HDR10 plus, and a full ray local. They'll throw a lot of jargon at you there to sell, but it's basically what you would be looking for if you're hooking up a PS5 to it. But that one's down to $700. There's a range, and you can probably get a bit cheaper than that. But I will say, when you start getting into like that $500 to $600 range and below, you start to have a lot of these higher end features that the current consoles can take advantage of come off the board. So keep that in mind. Again, I recommend sticking to a name brand that you would recognize if you walk into a store, because there are some that'll even tell you it has HDR and it just doesn't. So just keep in mind, make sure you read all the specifications if you can. But hey, that's going to do it here just for a look at all the Black Friday, Cyber Monday gaming madness that's going on. Again, if you come across any sales that happen, especially if you come across this video on like Friday afternoon or on Saturday and something's popped up, leave it in the comments. I know, again, people are going to be looking all over the place this weekend as deals are posted pretty much throughout, because some places will stagger some of the deal releases and announcements, and it can be a whole thing. But hey, let me know what you guys think about this down below. Any big deals you're really looking to pick out, any systems, any TVs, let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next time.